Hey guys, Ellie here. Today I got a pretty cool video for y'all, or I think it's pretty cool at least. So I'm sure a lot of you know that my parents are divorced. I talk about a lot how I go back and forth from my mom's house to my dad's house, so y'all probably could have figured from that. But you know, my situation's kind of unique because a lot of kids I know, a lot of people I know with divorced parents, they kind of live near each other, either together in the city or near each other in the country. But in my case, my mom lives in more of a suburban area and my dad obviously lives out in the country, which is pretty isolated in the middle of nowhere. And so today I wanted to take you guys through some of the differences of city versus country living. Those geese you hear back there would be one of them. But now, without further ado, let's get right to it. All right, guys, so this right here is just a typical city/suburban intersection. You can see there's a lot of traffic on the left side of the road, and then in front of me there's about to be a lot of backed up traffic at the stoplight. But pay attention to the surroundings. It's pretty interesting. You can see there's a lot of different places. You have your HEB right here in front of me. On the left there's an El Pollo Loco. There's just so many places to eat, so many places to shop, so many places to get goods and groceries, even in ER and stuff like that. So just everything you need is in really close proximity when you live in the city. All right, guys, this right here is my old high school. This is Kingwood High School. You're seeing the football field right there where we used to have practices and such. On the fence, I guess they have the girls volleyball roster for 2020-21. I haven't been here in about 3 years because I graduated in 2018, but wow, look at this parking lot. There's so many junior and senior students with parking passes parked here during the school day. Our school held about 26 to 2,800 kids in it, so it had quite the capacity. This right here is a very typical suburban driveway. You're gonna see how this contrasts to the country driveways in a second here. A major pro of living in the city is that the Wi-Fi and the internet in general is usually better than in the country. You can see on the screen right now I'm just peacefully playing NBA 2K without any sort of a lag or anything like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm very blessed that where we live the internet works pretty well and the Wi-Fi is good too. But just in general, the city is usually better. It's also better to do homework and other things like that in the city because there's less of a risk of the internet disconnecting. I know I've had a few scares in the country and stuff, so that's that. Maybe the biggest pro for me of living in the city is the amount of kids that are around the same age as you that you can just meet up with at the park, even going into my neighbor's driveway like you're seeing here, or playing football in the park with some of my friends from school. I'm a big sports fanatic, as y'all know, and so being able to do this with my friends was a really great blessing and benefit of living in the city. One con of living in the city, I feel like, though, is the lack of diversity with your animal species. Y'all know I love both of my kitties with all my heart, but besides them, besides seeing occasional cats on the streets, and besides seeing people walking their dogs, there's not really a whole lot of diversity with the animals in the city/suburbs, and you're going to see in a little bit how drastically different that is from the country. All in all, guys, that's about how I would summarize city/suburban living. There's a lot of people at work right now, but in general, the streets are usually packed with cars. You can see the houses. There's like no spacing between them at all. Everybody lives right next to each other. So if you enjoy company and just a lot of different things, then maybe the city/suburbs might be for you. But now, let's go ahead and get into the country style of living. All right here you'll see a pretty drastic difference between city and country roads. The country roads have a bunch of potholes in the middle of them, as you can see right here. There's not any traffic like there is in the city. And then look at your surroundings. All you see is a bunch of wilderness. You got trees, grass, a little barn shack thingy-majig right there. So just not a whole lot of stuff, not a whole lot of anything for that matter out here. The country is also notorious for having dirt/gravel roads and driveways like you're seeing right here. Very different than the well-established concrete ground the city has. Like I mentioned earlier, though, the Wi-Fi in the country is not quite as good as in the city, so I find it easier to do my homework when I'm in the city. And as far as playing Xbox, that's where you notice the biggest difference. The internet lags quite a bit, which makes it harder to play Xbox in the country sometimes, which causes those spur of the moment, jumping out of your chair events like you're going to see Lex do in a second right here. Lex, look at that one guy. Don't want to do that! Lex, look at the one guy on the team that got hit. One of the really cool things about living in the country, though, is the wide variety of vehicles you can use to get from place to place. You got your four-wheelers, your side-by-sides, And this next thing you're gonna see right here is actually pretty cool. You can even take your tractor, yes, you can take your tractor to the gas station to fill it with diesel though, not gas. Do not fill it with gas, otherwise it'll ruin, according to my dad. He makes sure to remind me every time I go to put diesel in it, not gas. And for those of y'all worried, this actually is not illegal. As long as the hazard lights are on, like you see right there, and you're on an FM or farm to market road, you're perfectly fine driving your tractor on the road, just FYI. But this right here is where it all changes. This right here is the biggest, by far the biggest pro of living in the country as opposed to living in the city. Animal species. The widest variety you could possibly fathom. What feels like basically every single animal on earth, just right there at your fingertips. I mean, just look right here, geese, goats, donkeys, alpaca, etc. In the city, they may have colleges, libraries, the most quote-unquote intellectual resources you can find, but truly, some of the most valuable lessons you'll ever learn come from watching these simple and majestic creatures and what they do every single day. And plus, they reproduce like jackrabbits, so you're always having new babies to take care of, bottle feed, and just gain some new experiences with, of course. Then you have the whole video making aspect, sharing those memories with your loved ones, making videos, just having a good time. You can see the smile on people's faces, except for Peeps right there, just enjoying life with those that you care about and spreading that love to others. The whole video making aspect, you know. And of course, the antics that you're going to see right here. I'm just going to sit back and let these antics play for a second because these are some good ones. I remember these. Wow, guys, two very, very different lifestyles, but great memories from both sides. It's almost like two different worlds within one. But I guess ultimately, which one is better? It comes down to personal preference, whatever makes you happy, whatever glorifies the kingdom, and lets light shine on the world, guys. But with that said, I really hope y'all enjoyed. Be sure to let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you want to see. Hope you have a great day. And as I always say, your boy Ali out.